everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Happy birthday, you.
Happy birthday, everybody. Happy brethday, everybody. I was in Dean Center yesterday. I was running past to meet up with Adeena and Mr. Bob, and on my way home, 3 people said, "Happy birthday, Bill." One was Mark Goldstein, and the 2 other people, I had no idea who they were. It was so great to see Mark. Mark, you're here, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
Excellent, cool.
Hey.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Wow, a lot of people, and it's all your birthdays? Very cool.
So here to celebrate you. I'm going to introduce you before you read it, just for the record.
Oh, good, excellent. That's a brilliant introduction you wrote, and you do.
How do you know?
I heard you 3 places in New York City, and I heard it. It's beautiful. Hi.
Okay, so I got some questions for you. Do you think?
What's going to happen when we're not doing this? I'm going to feel abject bereftness.
Always be doing this.
Well, we'll never not do this.
Exactly.
Okay, cool, excellent, excellent, very cool.
Yeah, that's.
So we're good.
Mine's been like 34 years.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes,
All right.
excellent.
Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions, and
Okay,
you can
cool.
answer them or not answer them.
Okay, cool.
All right, so,
If I get stuck anywhere, I'll ask someone in the audience.
This is a good plan. Okay, so this first one really, I was thinking about the notion of location, thinking about the relationship between locution and location. So thinking about, whether marked by your non-traditional spelling, your lack of orthography, or shifting modes and tones, your work can be seen as celebrating a kind of diasporic poetics. Celebrating vagrancy, nomadicism, or as you like to say these days, yes-maticism.
Yes-matic.
That's right, he's a yes-matic. Inhabiting the between space, okay? So whether living in Vancouver, Centralia, Halifax, Mattawa, Lunaria, Venusland, you're always in a kind of like a between. So what my question really is does place, or the notion of place, impact on what you're producing?
Of course, Lux Lucis and Lucentis, the $1,800 shot miracle drug they give in people's eyes, because luckily we have Medicare, and otherwise I would be completely blind now, and most people I know would be. But they would have to rely totally on inner blindness, or inner sight, which lets us know if we let go of all the abstract binary nouns, as Carl was referring to and Mark was referring to, up, down, right, good, bad, wrong, saying in, out, they're all based on opposites, so it presents a dualistic picture of the world. However, once we get into, which we really actually eschew the dualism of that, yes, and you like my kicks? And so it's like excellence, and so that's why we're emphasizing yes-matic, because with yes-matic, we don't actually ever have to stay anywhere, because we actually never do stay anywhere. It's all illusion or sometimes delusion, and we're fully here as in between other places, but we're actually, every moment is sacred and every moment is really fulfilling, and we're not somewhere else when we're here.
I love that. Yes, we know that very well.
Yes,
on
we
the
do.
road
We've had a
all
lot of practice.
the time. So, but do you think, but does anything, because I've heard you talk about, like, lately, you've been spending a lot of time in Mattawa, and, certainly with the painting, that, you have what you've described to me as something called the Mattawa line, which it has to, does it have to do with the place you are, or the state of being you're in there?
Exactement. Which is it? And do they intertwine with each other, and do they feed each other? Michael, do you think they feed each other? I think they do, don't they? Because when I moved to Mattawa, where I live part-time now, a few years ago, I started doing drawings. There's one for sale in the lobby there, and all the paintings that are for sale in the lobby were all done in Mattawa. And a new line started. It was it had a longer flow to it. And whether that was coming to me from the river, the Mattawa River, or from the trees there, or the air there, and the sense of so many ancestries there are present. You can hear French there, you can hear Ojibwe there, you can hear Cree there, you can hear Thai there.
But there's no there.
And then it's a floating there-ness, isn't it? It is, like Gertrude Stein said, a portable feast. So it's yes-matic.
Right. Yes, and to that. So
thank you.
I'm just going to give a little plug. So there's about 13 small paintings out there. They're half price tonight only, and they're going to be sold for $75. They're usually well over, like close to 200. So tonight's the night to pick those up. And then also what I should mention now is there's two large paintings, just two stunning, incredible new works of Bill's, and they're going to be auctioned off at the end of the night. So we're going to have a live auction to close this whole evening down later. So if you happen to get up, you can peek at them and start thinking about that.
And that auction would be for the benefit of the Secret Handshake, which is a peer support group for people with schizophrenia that I work for and with. Founded by Jordan Stone about 14 years ago. I've been here for 12 years now, and it's a very beautiful gathering. We do many wonderful things, art shows, poetry readings, lots of peer support, lots of telephone counseling back and forth. It's beautiful.
Located in Kensington Market.
Yeah, 170 Baldwin.
There you go.
A, upstairs.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for clapping for it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your new book. Carl gave a phenomenal.
Wasn't it brilliant?
Oh my God.
Carl, that was amazing.
Thank you, Carl, for historicizing and aestheticizing and politicizing the whole notion of language. So your long-awaited, new collected Breath of the Trees of Lemuria. Selected rare and new poems and drawings, 1957 to 2019, available for signing and purchasing today. From Talon has just dropped. So what's really interesting, can you just talk maybe a little bit about the editing process of this book? Because I noticed there doesn't seem to be an outside editor. It seems to me that you edited your own collected, which is quite rare. How did you choose, going back all those years and been collecting from 70 plus books, deciding what went in, where it went in, how it went in? What do you got to say?
The first poem that it was an organic experience for me, and the book is very organic rather than chronologically or thematically arranged. The first poem that occurred to me when I began to be realizing I was involved in this amazing journey and pulling these works together for this particular book was a poem Carl talked about, the moon, and that came to me in a dream sequence. And that's how actually the whole thing was for me, kind of. I would dream a poem and other poems that were close in some organic way to that, nothing to do with time, and because 90 years is nothing to God, but it's a lot to us, whatever. But it's not 90 years, but do you know what I'm saying? And so our moon got connected with actually the one about by the time I got to the train station, the train was gone. The tormented narrative number 7, and other poems there that were vastly more recent, and then they'd be next to something that's vastly more or less recent. So it was like that the whole time. It was a 4-year search.
So you would just lie in bed.
4.5 years, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would just come to you.
Yeah, I'd be shopping somewhere and stuff would come to me. And they said, was that 3 bananas? I said, no, 2 is fine.
And they'd say,
but I'm actually gathering stuff in my head at the time.
no, that's text rights.
That's how we become to seem otherworldly to other people, that we actually are. There's so many worlds, isn't there? Isn't that what Chaucer said? So many worlds, so little time to travel through them all? No, it's not. Sometimes the life isn't so short if you think about God. It depends what you're experiencing, isn't it? Oh, sorry, I drifted.
That's okay. I was thinking about maybe because maybe we'll just have one more question right now,
Okay.
even though I had so many questions. But it's such a wide variety of aesthetics this evening. So I think my last question to you would be, because we were looking, everybody, I'm
Oh
sure.
my God! I forgot to look. Jordan was up all night doing this. I forgot to look at it. Was it excellent, Michael? Oh my God! I'm so incompetent.
I know. No.
We didn't know.
Look at Barry smoking.
I know.
Crazy.
It's on television too.
I know.
Live TV. They had it live now. Do we look live? Excellent.
Does it make you want to grow a beard again?
No.
I'd go with that. Okay, final question. Looking at all the concrete poetry we saw, and your very robust collaboration with Jim Andrews, I'm thinking about how aesthetics come in and out of favor, and thinking about cycles, and I was just wondering, there seems to be a resurgence of concrete poetry.
Oh, totally.
Bispo, Estemic poetry, all sorts of new names for it. But did you want to maybe say something about that?
I can only speculate on the resurgence of it. It's very exciting that it's resurging, and it makes me remember how when it began, it was like spontaneous combustion everywhere, all over the world. Brazil, every part of South America, Japan, parts in China, all throughout Europe, Canada, the United States. I mean, we were in constant touch with each other all the time. They had mailing letters and they had mailboxes and stuff down. It was very, very quaint and funky, and we were in touch with each other all the time. And now, fairly recently, it's combusting again now through email and texting and everything like that. Again, all over the world, everywhere, every country. So it's very exciting. How do you account for it?
I don't know how to account for it, but it makes me really think of cycles, of
Yes.
iterability and
Yes.
repetition and iterability, and thinking also about the technological advances and what used to be done with glue stick and scissors and typewriters.
Totally.
And now all the things that can now be created.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And of course, and the continuing relationship between text-based writing and concrete visual writing and improv and performance writing. They all work together and they're all part of each other. And as one becomes more happening, people get tired of reading only what is written in front of them at a reading essay, which it can also be great, but say they get tired of it for a moment and they start like saying something else, and like Miles Cohen, because he does a lot of improv, and Chad Kelly sometimes is here with us, and there are a lot of improv people, and so just improv, like how I wrote Stars, the closing poem. Honey Novik and me were doing a reading, I think it was in Stratford, and I heard this voice, I got up, because a lot of it's like hearing voices. Hello, it's okay. And the leading was, I don't know, I can't help it, I just don't know. I said, is it all right to say if I don't know? I said, I don't really know. Wings, because you get the wings from wing, and stars, there's so many stars. Are they where we are? I should to see them where we are. Stars. Oh, so many stars. Stars.
Continue more of this later, but let's say goodbye for now.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much,
Bye for
everybody.
now.